Okay, I got a message. It's better. Okay, I'm going to start all over again. How's that? So, yeah, lucky things about being in Florida the day after Christmas. I get to do live videos without a jacket. So, oh, that's what I was going to tell you. So, yesterday morning, after we had brunch, my mom and my kids and I, we went caroling in their community. My mom had made a homemade apple cake, and we took plates, paper plates, with big, huge double pieces of homemade apple cake, and we went to all of their little neighbors and we sang, "We wish you a Merry Christmas, we wish you a Merry Christmas." And as we were going around caroling, my children, who have not spent a lot of time in cold weather before, um, they were talking about how fun it was to go caroling. And so I told them about when I went caroling. When I was, oh, I don't know, I remember going once when I was maybe 10 years old, and we had a wagon with horses, and our whole church went caroling, and it was in Colorado in like 2 feet of snow, and people came together and went caroling with 2 feet of snow. And I remember another time that my family went caroling, and my little sister was so small she couldn't walk yet. So it was Christmas. She was born in July, so like 6 months old, and she was in a backpack, like a baby backpack, on my dad's back as we went caroling, and it was snowing. And when I was in high school, at my school, one of the jobs that we had in the holidays was selling poinsettias. And so when we were selling poinsettias, we would go and we would sell them, like we would in snow and sleet and ice, and we would go door to door, and we thought nothing of it. And so my children are like walking around barefoot. It's 72 degrees on Christmas morning. And they're talking about how, oh my goodness, how cold it is. And we're chilly and we need jackets. And I'm sitting there thinking, you don't have a clue. You don't know. You don't know. Don't know anything at all. I mean, they know lots of things, but they don't know anything about cold for sure. So anyway, that was my Christmas yesterday, and we had so much fun just being together, and super quiet and low-key Christmas. But what I want to talk to you about is actually setting goals for New Year's, because every year we talk about setting goals, and we talk about the things that we want to do, and we talk about how we're going to make this year different than last year, and we forget two things. One, Proverbs 16 verse 9 says, "We can make our plans, but the Lord determines our steps." So obviously we make plans, and I think we should make plans. I think God gave us brains to make plans on purpose, because it's a really important thing to plan ahead. I mean, Luke 14:28 and 29 says, "But don't begin until you count the cost. For who would begin construction of a building without first calculating the cost to see if there is enough money to finish it? Otherwise, you might complete only the foundation before you run out of money, and then everyone will laugh at you." So I have a question for you. Here's my question. Did you accomplish your goals last year? Did you accomplish your goals last year? Did you get everything done that you wanted to do? Did you come out the other end feeling really confident that, that you got it done? The things that you wanted to change got changed. I know a year ago, November, I sat down with some girlfriends, and we spent 4 hours going through goals and setting goals in every aspect of life. And as I look back on those, there's some things that I set, goals that I set, that were really, really good, and they followed through the year. And then there's some goals that I set that, yeah, not so much. Not so much at all. So poll active right now. And hey, I've got some really cool stuff coming up. So if you would take a moment, just before I keep going, if you would take a moment to just like this, drop me a comment, say that you're here, like it, give it a heart or a smiley face if you're laughing at me for being outside, in the backyard the day after Christmas in Florida. That's fine too. And then share this video so that some others, so that your friends can join in, because I got some really cool stuff coming up. So when we're thinking about this, though, I want to think about what is most needed in your life right now. What's most needed in your life right now? I actually published a blog about this week called "What Will You Embrace in the New Year?" So when you ask yourself this question, what's most needed in your life right now? Is it beauty? Is it freedom? Is it better self-care? We did a webinar on the sacred act of self-care. Is that something you struggle with? I know I do. Is it expansion? Is it speaking out about things that you know but you are not, you're done being silent on? What is something that you need most in your life right now? Better boundaries? Better balance? Maybe you need to add something into your routine. Maybe you need to eliminate something to make some fresh space. Are there people you need to lean on more and be more vulnerable and transparent with? Or do you have relationships in your life that are toxic and they need you to set some limits? So I want to challenge you to join me, because I am going to be setting a theme. Instead of just doing random New Year's resolutions with like, I'm going to do 50 sit-ups every day, and I'm going to run a mile 3 times a week, and I'm going to drink a gallon of water every day. Yeah, all that stuff. You know what? That lasts really great until like January 10th, maybe, if we're lucky. So what I want to challenge you to do is to join me in doing something really different and set a theme for your year. Now, a couple of years ago, my theme was just thriving, healing. And I didn't really put a lot of words to it, but last year, my theme was speak out, to speak, to stop being silenced by my sense of desire for people to like me more, to stop worrying about the fallout of the truth. Um, you know, yeah, speak out. And that was a really, really incredible experience for me all of last year. Um, and this year, I am setting a new theme for myself too. And what I'm wanting to do is walk through with friends on how to set those themes, because I think that when we live in a vacuum, when we live in isolation, we don't follow through. We don't do things nearly as well as we do when we have accountability. And so when it comes to choosing a theme for the upcoming year, first we have to know what we want. What do we want to get out of the year? You don't want to get everything out of the year. You don't want to do all the things. Focus it on one thing. What do you want, and why do you want it? And to get there, you have to ask yourself some questions like, what is your identity? What are your core values? What masks are you hiding behind? And you know what? If you need help figuring out your core values and figuring out which masks you're hiding behind, I have some free tools for you on that, and I will give you links at the end of this video for that. But what do you want most to achieve in your future? Which of your talents are most useful in this pursuit of your theme for the new year? And if you're not sure, if you haven't answered these questions, consider them and ask yourself over the rest of this week. And so to thoroughly explore these answers, I want you to rate yourself in each one and then decide where you'd like to see the most growth. So first, I have one other poll that I want to ask you before you rate yourself. And this is, do you feel confident about what you want to accomplish in 2019? Do you feel that you know what you want to accomplish in 2019. Are you confident about that? Are you sure? So that's the poll that's on right now. So when we are doing that, and then next, I'm going to ask you about your current satisfaction. So that's what's coming up next. But first, answer, do you feel confident about what you want to accomplish in 2019? So when you're asking yourself about the next year, you have to assess where you are, otherwise you don't know where you're going, right? If we don't know where we've come from, we don't know where we're going. So here's a question, write it down, jot it in your phone, leave a comment to remind yourself to come back to it. What do you want to create in these parts of your life? What do you want to see more of? What do you want to see less of? And what aspects make the most sense to start with? Because you can't just start with like the biggest thing ever. You need to take off some bite-sized chunks. You don't eat an elephant in one bite. You do it one bite at a time, and finally, at some point, you'll get there. So here is where I want you to rank your satisfaction in several different areas of life. There's no right answer. There's no wrong answer. If it feels like a 5 to you, then that's fine. That's what it is. If it scores low, ask yourself why, and then consider what you need to do in order to change something to make that more positive, to make it better in your life. So here is the next one. If you rated your current satisfaction, and I'm going to go through several different areas of life, if you rated your current satisfaction on a scale of 1 to 10, where would you fall? Now, here's something before you are done and before you go and just nail yourself on this, I want you to recognize your life season. Be brutally honest. But you know what? Also, don't be too hard on yourself. I think it is possible to be brutally honest, but also not to be too hard on yourself. Let's just say you've recently escaped an abusive relationship, or you're still living in a toxic environment. So this season of life for you is going to include very basic goals of survival to set your theme for the year, so that you can set a different theme for next year. If you're in survival mode, it doesn't mean you can't choose a theme, and it doesn't mean you can't set goals. It just means you have to give yourself permission for that theme and those goals to focus on the basics. And you may want to answer these questions twice. You might want to go through them 2 different times. 1 related to the essentials right now, and 2 related to your long-term goals. So you might do 2 sets of them. And most of all, though, I don't want you to be afraid to set really simple goals if that's what you need. And those could be things like taking better care of myself, going for walks and drinking enough water, and remembering to eat. When I'm stressed out and I'm dealing with fear and I have got stuff running around in my head, I forget to eat. It just doesn't cross my mind. You know, Sometimes things like finding a support group, finding a prayer group, those are huge. So here's some questions to ask yourself in some really important areas. Like 1, family and friends. Are you happy in your relationships? Are you spending enough time with the people you love? Are you regularly speaking and receiving the love languages of the people you care about? So rate your relationships. How about your career? Does your career align with your values? Are you on the path to where you want to be? Are you doing something that you actually enjoy and are good at? Or are you dreaming about some kind of pursuit or education or something that you've always wanted to do, but you've been afraid to try, or something's holding you back? So how would you rate your career? Another one, your health. Do you wake up each morning energized? Are you ready to go? Or do you feel sluggish and tired and unmotivated and exhausted and worn out and drained? Do you eat healthy nutrition, or do you always feed your body with stuff that's just not healthy for you? How would you rate your health overall? What about your spirituality and your faith? What kind of atmosphere exists in your life and your relationships? Are you at peace with your relationship with Jesus? Are you longing for something more? Are you seeking and anticipating the good things that God has for you, even if you are experiencing trials right now? What about your finances? Are you financially stable? Or are you living paycheck to paycheck? Do you have a monthly budget? Or are you just spending wherever and hoping you don't overdraft? What are you achieving? What are some things you would like to achieve that you've just been held back from doing? And what are the things that are in the way of getting you there? And you know what, last but not least, what are you doing to rest, relax, rejuvenate, and have fun? Now, I've been told at times that I'm boring because I think my work is fun. And I just completely disagree with that because guess what? I think my work is fun. So for me, that's fun. And, you know, the important thing is for you to decide what is fun for you and what is healthy fun for you. And then how are you prioritizing ways to make sure that you rejuvenate and rest? And then rank yourself on that. Now, if you are ranking yourself really well on these, fabulous. If you're ranking yourself really low, then let's look at this stuff and see what you can do to make it better. All I'm saying is that as I am moving into a brand new year, and I have realized how important it is to set a theme and to outline my goals for the year and to do it in ways that are really, really accountable and high output but low pressure. I want to share it with you because I do best with accountability. And so I kind of want other people to join me and we can do accountability together. So here's my big idea for 2019. And I actually have some girlfriends who are working with me. So we have a team. It's not just me by myself, but I'm getting ready to do a whole new thing that I'm calling Goal Wild because I want to set wild, huge, amazing goals and I want to go wild with my goals. And I want you to join me because if we don't have clear direction in life, if we're not listening to God's voice, if we're not letting God tell us what to do, if we're not dreaming big, we will stay stuck. And I don't know about you, but I don't like living stuck. I lived stuck for way too many years. I lived just trying to survive emotionally, physically, spiritually for way too many years. And that is in my past now. And I like living wild. I don't mean like Girls Gone Wild kind of wild. I mean wild as in wise, filled with identity that is a gift from God, knowing my legacy and where I came from, and living with daring because of where I'm going. That to me is wild. So here's what I'm doing. My team and I have been working together on a series of goal wild material, and we're really excited to share it. So in this goal wild material, you have access to a whole long list of things. One, a month of weekly Goal Wild sessions with a master workbook for this masterclass, a Goal Wild journal, a daily goals planner, an accountability workbook, weekly worksheets, a master checklist, a time calculator, and a vision worksheet. Oh my goodness, right? That's a lot. And on top of that, I have completely, oh my goodness, it's so Wendy. I have completely redone the corporate core values discovery that I have always used for branding development for corporate executives and companies, but I've redone it for personal core values and shedding your masks, as well as an inventory for deciding what goals are most important to you for the year. So basically, not basically, there is nothing basic about it except that it takes you back to the basics. So this is Goal Wild is a personal development course that will help you focus on effectively and efficiently creating wild but achievable goals for yourself and your life. And not just setting goals, because every single one of us is super tired of setting goals and then not following through. So this also, Goal Wild, gives you a process for follow through. So in the Goal Wild adventure, this whole experience, you will learn how to identify your life passions, how to theme your year for the whole year, how to reverse engineer your goals, how to identify your key priorities, how to evaluate and reward your progress, how to adjust when needed, and you'll get accountability support, and how to stay on the journey so that you can end the year saying, I finished my goals. I got there. And on top of that, I'm creating a community, a group dedicated to supporting each other so that we can all get there together. A Goal Wild hustle group all together. So that is what I'm getting ready to do. And I want to invite you to the first thing, which is free. And it's a webinar on Sunday afternoon, Eastern Time, Sunday, December 30th. I do not want to interfere with your New Year's Eve. So I'm doing it the day before New Year's Eve. All right, so here is the link to the Goal Wild webinar. I'm putting it in a comment, and later I will also put it in the description. And here is poll, because I'm going to run the webinar twice. I'm going to do it once, and I'm going to play. Woo! There we go. I'm going to do it once, and then I'm going to play it again. So I want to know which one is better for you, the day before New Year's Eve or the day of New Year's Eve, for going wild with your goals. So that is, whoop, I got a hair in my eye. Yeah. See, these are not like super polished videos, obviously. I am just totally real. Something in my eye. Anyway, and I'm totally distracted now. So there's that. Where was I? Oh, yes. Webinar. I want to know which date is better for you for the webinar. And then I am going to ask you, please, would you just, I know you can laugh at me. It's fine. Would you please share this video? Would you post it over to your timeline? Would you invite a friend? Share the webinar invitation. Share the giveaway links, because I'm going to post giveaway links in the description, and invite your girlfriends who are the kind of people who want 2019 to be wild too, wild in the best sense of the word. Invite them to come join us. We are going to have a time of prayer, Bible study, goal setting, all of the above. And we're going to do it together so that none of us are off alone trying to follow through on our goals. Anyway, so that is what I'm excited about. And I hope that you will go to sarahmcdougall.com/blog and read the blogs that I have been writing about how to set goals, because I really want to share the encouragement. Thank you so much for hanging out with me this afternoon, and for liking, and for sharing, and for leaving me your comments, and answering the polls, and all of that stuff, because you are awesome, and I love you. Merry Christmas, and happy, happy New Year.